Ves woke up on the floor. He rubbed a hand over the top of his skull where a bump was forming. What the heck? How did I end up here? He struggled to sit up. For a moment, Ves entertained the thought that maybe an intruder had broken into the warehouse and conked him on the head. Then it dawned on him. The data chip. His eyes scoured the floor for that darn data chip. It had sent such an electric shock through him that he passed out and bashed the back of his head. Where did that thing land? It wasn't under the table. It hadn't bounced onto the rug. The chip was nowhere to be found. As he rubbed his hand across the bare floor in search of the chip, he felt gritty bits of metal. Upon examining them, they were from the data chip. The chip had been reduced to nothing but fried pieces of sharp metal. Ves pondered whether the electrical shock would have been enough to destroy the chip. But then he had another thought. Did the chip self-destruct after I installed it on my wrist communicator? Ves looked down at his wrist. Oh, please, tell me my wrist comm isn't fried too. I really don't have the money to spend on another one. The communicator was in the process of rebooting. Oh, thank God. He heard the reassuring little beep, beep, beep that it always emitted when it turned on after a hard reboot. So the chip had melted into oblivion, and his head now bore a huge goose egg. But the electronic wrist communicator survived the shock without so much as a scratch. Ves, though, wasn't convinced yet that his comm had totally escaped damage. As he began scrolling through the icons on his home screen, he half expected the thing to start spewing nonsense. I hope that data chip didn't install malware, or worse, ransomware on my comm. He was even more skeptical when it seemed as if the comm was running even faster than before. There must be something wrong. I don't have a good feeling about this. As Ves browsed through the menu of software, he noted that his programs all seemed to remain intact. Except there was one new program, the Mech Designer System. What is this? A game for a 10-year-old? Oh, no, maybe it's malware. It can't be real because no software is capable of designing a mech. As promising as the name of the software sounded, Ves was well aware that the discipline of mech design took years of study and experience in the fields of mechanics, physics, material science, and more. Designing a mech took experience, intelligence, and maybe even a little bit of luck. The thought that an app could handle all of these different processes rankled Ves, to say the least. I spent 5 years in school, learning how to become a mech designer, and this piece of software is going to do the job for me? Yeah, right. With the thought that the Mech Designer System was nothing but a bit of malicious software out to steal his identity or hold all of his wrist comm's data hostage, Ves was afraid to let his finger hover over the icon. Dare I even press it? Then again, Ves thought that maybe this was a real find, a true gift from his father. If that was the case, Ves Larkinson would never have passed on software that he didn't believe in, that he didn't think was the real deal. And maybe that's why he did the whole cloak and dagger bit of putting it on a data chip and having it delivered by the bank. Surely he would not have gone to all that trouble for merely a hoax. He wondered how his father even happened upon it. But with Reinkoll missing, that answer was not going to come. As Ves pressed the Mech Designer System icon to open the software, he immediately regretted his action. I'm an idiot. This has to be a joke, or worse, a scam. Welcome to the Mech Designer System. Please design your new mech. The message ended. That's it? Ves tapped his wrist communicator. Don't tap me when I'm scanning. What? Ves was taken aback. Did the program just respond to him? Deep scan complete. Registering new user, Ves Larkinson. Welcome, package granted. You know my name already? Is this a scam or what? No, as I said, I'm the Mech Designer System. You got anything more than that? Please inspect your status. To display this page, say status. 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 Name, Ves Larkinson. Profession, novice mech designer. Specializations, none. Design points, 0. Attributes, strength, 0.6. Dexterity, 0.7. Endurance, 0.6. Intelligence, 1.2. Creativity, 0.3. Concentration, 0.9. Neural aptitude, F. Skills, assembly, novice. Business, apprentice. Computer science, incompetent. Mathematics, incompetent. Mechanics, apprentice. Metallurgy, apprentice. Physics, novice. Valuation, good for nothing, loser. Hey, who are you calling a loser? And wait, I've had 5 years of schooling in mech design and all I am is a novice? I mean, I know I'm just starting out, but wow, you are harsh. User, Ves Larkinson, you are a qualified loser for having frittered away half of your life. Your frequent diversions have left you ill-prepared for the future. Your inability to pay off your debt is a direct consequence of your ineptitude. Did my father put you up to this? Because he's the one who took out the big loan, not me. And now I'm saddled with it. Ves felt that the Mech Designer System had inside information from his father, and now it was throwing that information back in his face, and he didn't like it. I'm sorry, that does not compute. Ves suppressed the urge to give the finger to the software. Instead, he defended himself. I admit, I used to be a pretty lazy kid, and maybe I partied a little too much. But I cleaned up my act. I went to school to become a mech designer. Come on, give me a break. It is your lucky day. The Mech Designer System is the ultimate tool for designing any machine that falls under the category of mech. Any authorized user is allowed to use this system's many tools to design any mech imaginable with no conceivable limits. Ves rolled his eyes. Yeah, right. So, can I just whip up something that weighs 1,000 tons, runs at Mach 50, and can even travel faster than light? Sounds like a fantasy. Certainly, user. But you must design its components and integrate them into a viable design by yourself. If you then wish to fabricate the design using the system, you will be required to exchange a corresponding energy value, expressed in design points. Wait a minute. You're the Mech Designer System. You mean you're not gonna design it for me? Isn't that your job? No, user. As I said, you must create the components and integrate them into a viable design by yourself. This is too dumb for words. What's the point? But Ves, a little curious, pressed on. Let's talk about your so-called design points. How many design points does it take to fabricate a mech? An average mech requires 1,445,645,313 design points to be fabricated accurately. Okay, so how do I earn design points? I'm calculating your current combination of attributes and skills. The machine takes a moment. After estimating your capabilities, you are able to earn an average of 3.89 design points per day. Did you say 389 per day? No, that number is 3.89 design points per day. Ves's jaw dropped. The system seemed to disparage him with every sentence while giving the semblance of neutrality. You're out of your mind. How am I supposed to make a mech if I earn fewer than 4 design points a day? The system let out a long beep. Ves muttered to himself. Yeah, I thought so. His finger hovered over his comm as he debated whether to shut down the app. Somehow, the software must have read Ves's mind. User, please do not exit the program yet. You have yet to explore the menus. You haven't even opened your welcome package yet. Okay, so show me a menu. Mech Designer System menu. Status, Designer, Missions, Skill Tree, Shop, Lottery, Inventory. The lottery sounded promising. Lord knows, I could use a win. Ves tapped the button to go there. The system emitted a gong sound. User, as a novice mech designer, your privileges are limited. You currently do not have access to the missions, shop, or lottery menus. That figures. The most interesting things are off limits. Story of my life. Ves clicked on Designer, and a vast holographic design interface unfolded before his eyes with a list of options. God, it looks just like that battle mech game I used to play as a kid. In fact, it's a total ripoff of the interface. Ves sighed. He was disappointed because any software that knocks off a 12-year-old's online game can't be legitimate. This app can't be for real. Once again, Ves couldn't help but wonder if this software was a joke. He pictured his practical and streetwise father somehow falling prey to a snake oil salesman on some far-flung planet, peddling this fake mech designing program. He could barely get past the similarities in the user interface to his old childhood game. Ves noted, though, that the system offered some add-ons and additional features. Ves selected the skill tree, which unfolded even more elaborately into a panoramic view. The most fundamental skills were at the top, starting with mechanics and mathematics. Beneath them was a list of sub-skills that seemed to go on forever. It even included creativity. So you're telling me that you can help me become more creative for a few design points? I can hardly wait to see how this is going to work. His voice dripped with sarcasm, but he wasn't sure the system would pick up on that. User, please review your skill levels. Great. You didn't even bother to answer my question. Ves looked at his stats. He grimaced when he got to creativity. 0.3. Hey, I'm creative. But as soon as Ves protested, he came to the conclusion that the machine might be on point. After all, back in even his mediocre college, plenty of his classmates had more ingenuity and creativity than him. Wait a minute, did my father program you with my college grades? Is that how you calculated my skill levels? Because I've got to tell you, I've improved since then, even if it only has been a short time. User, I'm unable to respond to that question. Unable or won't? The system remained silent, not even deigning to acknowledge him. So what's next? Ves opened the inventory list, which appeared to be a typical game-like interface that would allow him to store virtual items but not real ones. There were empty boxes where he could later store his designs, and digital goods. The rest of the columns were blurred out with images of giant locks above them. Maybe I could even put real things in here in the future. A yellow blinking light caught his attention. He clicked on it, once again a little bit trepidatious about what might happen. Turned out, it was just a notifications table. A bright text box was titled, Welcome Package. What is this bullshit gonna be? Ves tapped the message. A holographic box sprung open in front of him, accompanied by the kind of faux celebratory fanfare found in his childhood mech game. 3 silhouettes floated in front of him. So is this where you asked me to cough up some credits to keep going? Ves tapped on one of the silhouettes. Congratulations, you have received 10 design points. Please, spend them well. Just 10 measly design points? It's a little stingy, don't you think? 10 design points is not even a drop in the bucket compared to the 10 billion I'm going to need to build a mech. I may as well throw in the towel right now. Heck, when he looked around to see what he could do with his lousy 10 points, he couldn't even afford to increase his attributes to upgrade his skills. Worthless. Just worthless. Ves clicked the next silhouette, which revealed 3 copper lottery tickets. Now we're talking. Time to change my luck. Copper lottery tickets can be exchanged for prizes from the copper lottery pool. Would you like to redeem them now? Sure. The system projected a prize wheel in front of Ves. Spin the wheel. Probably another losing bet. Why do I even bother? After staring at the wheel for a moment, Ves let out a sigh. Let's go for a spin, Lady Luck. Ves grabbed a large lever and yanked it down, turning the wheel round and round until it landed on a red space. You have failed to draw a prize from your copper lottery ticket. Please draw again. You're kidding me. Ves yanked the large lever again. You have failed to draw a prize from your copper lottery ticket. Please draw again. It figures. Ves pulled the lever again. You have failed to draw a prize from your copper lottery ticket. Please draw again. This is rigged. Even the lottery tickets from the 724 store down the street produce more winners than this. Ves's finger hovered again over the button to close down the whole program. Going bust in the lottery was just too much for him to bear. I can't even win a stupid virtual lottery. I give up. But just before he was about to quit, the system offered up the final silhouette from the welcome package. If this is more gotcha junk, I'm done. As was becoming customary, the system did not reply. Ves clicked and hoped for a consolation prize. Maybe a bump up in his creativity level or something, or an extension on his impending bankruptcy. Out popped a small mechanical cat on the hologram projection. Wow, just what I wanted. A virtual pet that every 10-year-old girl in the galaxy is clamoring for. Too bad this system can't give me a will to live because this pet sure isn't doing anything for me. The pet appearing on the hologram looked to Ves just like all the other artificial intelligence on the galactic net. Just what I need. A pet that offers companionship without the hassle of taking care of it. You are mistaken, user. This gold-ranked auxiliary companion is an extremely rare, random draw from the welcome package. Congratulations on acquiring your new gem cat. The creature in front of Ves shifted. The holographic interface dimmed as the projection of the mechanical cat brightened. Ves heard a thump, and there, on the floor, was the cat, in real life, not a projection. No, this has to be a trick. I don't believe this application on my communicator just whisked a mechanical cat into existence. The cat meowed and brushed his leg with its very real body. What?